Mohamed Manssouri, director of the Investment Center of the Food and Agriculture Organization, says human capital is just as important to the progress of agriculture as technology. His comments were made at the Africa Financial Industry Summit in a one-on-one interview with Arise business correspondent Rotus Oddiri. Let's have a look.
First of all, as FAO, we really welcome all the work that IFC is doing with the AgTechs on, risk-sharing mechanisms, and developing this area of work is critical. I think, as Hamza was putting it at the beginning, in Africa, we don't have any other choice but to develop agriculture, to increase its productivity. Productivity of African agriculture is lagging behind as compared to any other regions of the world. The yields as at least half of what they are in, all the major crops and major commodities and so on. And in order to do that, we don't have any other choice than unleashing the potential, the productivity of smallholder farmers. Okay, so I think it's not like a choice or an option for us. It's an obligation. This is the only way to make small-scale agriculture more commercial, more productive. How to do it? The smallholders need access to three major, things. They need access to inputs and technology, they need access to markets, and they need access to finance, okay? So the business models of financing need to be, financing models need to be seen in the context of those business models, and then in a more broader institutional model, okay? That institutional model needs to really get because that is the only way you can guarantee the sustainability of those models, okay, is by institutionalizing them, linking them to the policies correctly, and linking them to the farmers and to the production. So those institutional models, they need to be efficient, and I think this is what was presented here. They need to have an outreach, that is the scale of those, the outreach to farmers, to consumers, and so on. And they need also to have, the correct governance mechanisms, okay? Meaning that they need to provide for voice. I think that two of our panelists were referring to trust, and that is very, very critical. And that comes through the institutions, is whether I trust what you are, the partnership we're entering in, and so on. So for me, de-risking, it needs to be seen not only through the financial angle, but also through all the business model and the institutional angle. So you need to de-risk the ecosystem in a way. And I think this is why institutions like IFC, the World Bank, and FAO, with each entry point, working with the governments on the public side, working with the private side. But when the partnerships, we talk about public-private partnerships, but it is producer, public, private, people partnership. Okay, so it's like the 4 Ps are not only the 2 Ps in a way, and looking at it that way, that is what would guarantee in the future, the sustainability of whatever model and the de-risking mechanism. So I should have started by just presenting what the FAO Investment Center is about. So we are not a financial institution, we are a technical group, a multidisciplinary group of about 200 multidisciplinary team, economists, finance, but agronomists, veterinarians, foresters, aquaculture, fishery, all the trades that FAO is about. And we work, our business model is to work with financial institutions. So it's about marrying knowledge, expertise with money, okay? And that is the way you can reach scale for us as, FAO, as a UN agency, a scale of impact, and we provide a number of solutions, technical solutions, working with the IFIs, for our member countries, including strategic investment planning, including support to public investments, working with the World Bank, IFAD, African Development Bank. We have virtually partnerships with all the IFIs of the world. Support of private investments as well, the public good elements, the landscape TA to make good private investment, and blended finance. So blended finance would link to what you were asking, as what are the de-risking financial models. And here we work really with many instruments. Our major partner is the European Commission. And we have reviewed more than 1 billion of transactions presented to 4 impacts investment instruments. And actually, we look at it from the impacts or the development outcome side, okay? Each of those transactions, we contributed over the last 4 years to something like, signed deals of more than 500 million. And I think it is really about looking at how to de-risk not only through guarantees, matching grants, and the financial elements, but de-risking through, good knowledge, good capacity. And I think the tech here is very important because the data and the way, is about making everything more efficient and about de-risking the small-scale agriculture. Let me highlight one element, which is actually that sometimes you would need also models that would de-risk the de-riskers themselves, okay? So it is not, and this is how you can look at the whole ecosystem. So for example, we work with an instrument that is called AgriFi, which is a dedicated blended finance, financed by the EU for small-scale agriculture. And it is focused on basically bringing companies, SMEs, to the to be investment ready. Okay, so like this missing middle and so on. But for DFIs to do that, they would need themselves, a de-risking mechanism, and we work on that as well.
The infrastructure side, in order to make the technology to work, can you quickly touch on that as we round up?
Yeah, I think that this is really, many colleagues were referring to it, but to develop value chains and to, boost productivity, you need huge investments in infrastructure, okay? Whether it is, irrigation more efficient and climate resilient irrigation systems, throughout the agri-food chain, agri-food logistics, wholesale markets, slaughterhouses, and I think we are really under developed in Africa. So there are also here huge opportunities for the financial sector on the public side to really develop that. But maybe let me emphasize the flip side of that, which is something that colleagues were referring to it, which is the investment in the things that we don't see, okay? Which is the human capital, the organizations, the institutions, the social capital. And honestly, this is key because you cannot have aggregation without social capital, okay? You cannot, so there are some references to cooperatives and the business models themselves, but I think the human capital, and I think Hamza and Abraham were referring to the illiteracy rates in the farming communities, but please look forward, look at the generation that is coming, the farmers that we would like to see in the future. And let's train them, let's get them the capacity. We cannot keep going with illiterate, farmers. And I think the solutions we are bringing here are transition solutions. So whatever we do, we have to look at it in a very evolutive way to accompany the transformation of the agri-food system.